A door to an upscale home is unlocked by a group of young individuals, including two men and a lady. Before the alarm can sound, one of them silences it. As they enter the residence, the individual who appears the most anxious reiterates their restrictions, which include not taking any cash and only grabbing items that weigh less than 10 grams. They enter and exit the residence quickly. They turn the alarm back on as they depart and smash the window of the front door, which causes the alarm to sound as they flee. Later, they're talking, smoking weed, and driving their automobile. The apprehensive man begins to inform the other two about a buddy of theirs who is leaving town. They claim that everyone departs Detroit. After the following robbery, they even had no intention of returning and were going to California. The anxious man says he can't leave his father, but the girl invites him to join them. They deliver him to his home. He enters and immediately makes his way to his father's study, where he pulls out a drawer and gives back the key to the house they just broke into. His father is employed in home security. Money, the third man, proceeds to fence the items they took during the heist, but he doesn't earn as much as he had thought. After a brief argument, the man who purchases his goods informs him that he should steal money if he wants it. Money tells all about it to his friends. It's a house in an abandoned area of the city that belonged to a lonely soldier and was secured by the anxious man's father. Money explains why they should rob it because that doesn't give the other too much more confidence. It seems that a wealthy girl ran over the veterinarian's daughter, and her family generously paid him at least $300,000. Compared to the anxious Alex, the girl accepts the concept far more readily. He is concerned about what would happen to them and his father's business if he takes so much. He turns to leave. Rocky, the girl, texts Alex later that day to ask him to complete the work for her so she can get someone out. Rocky is at home with her mother, her younger sister, and her mother's new boyfriend as Alex does research on the veterinarian. When she begins asking Alex whether she wants to travel to California with her, it becomes evident that the message Rocky sent her was specifically about her sister. The veterinarian's home and the surrounding area are staked out by Alex, Rocky, and Money. When a Rottweiler dog leaps at the girl's window, Money returns to the car and validates their knowledge of the house. Money informs them that it is the veterinarian when an elderly man asks for the dog. They argue briefly about how it would be wrong to rob a blind man. They return to the neighborhood that evening. The veterinarian's home is dark. They start by giving the dog meat that has been infused with a medication. They discover that the keys Alex took from his dad's security firm are inoperable when they attempt to enter the front door. They look for a window or a side entrance, but all they find is a tiny window that only Rocky can pass through. Alex hands her a remote control, which she uses to enter the house and turn off the alarm. On the mantel, she notices framed photos of the veterinarian's deceased daughter. Money and Alex are waiting for her to open the door. They enter the residence and begin searching for the money-containing safe. Rocky searches the closet. To keep the elderly veterinarian from waking, Money goes to the next floor and chloroforms him. He discovers him dozing off in his room while listening to a video of his daughter playing as a child. Money is able to turn off the gas, but the veterinarian wakes up and shuts off the television. When he descends, the three of them discover a door that is bolted, supposing that the money is hidden behind it. Money pulls out a revolver and blows the bolt from the door, assuming the veterinarian is asleep. Alex chooses to leave because he is afraid that having a gun there will make things different. He grabs his shoes off the shelf and leaves. When Money and Rocky open the door, the veterinarian unexpectedly shows up and asks who it is. He hears Money and begins to follow his speech as he tries to deceive the old guy and then reason with him after they both go silent. He scares him by shooting at him once, but it doesn't deter him. The vet shoots him in the head after snatching the rifle from his hands. He is unaware that the girl is also present. The closet is where she hides. The veterinarian is running around the home, locking the doors and windows, and Alex nearly runs into him as he enters the house. He texts Rocky while hiding in the restroom. He pursues her after she informs him where she is hiding. But before Alex arrives, the veterinarian enters the closet, removes a piece of drywall to expose the safe, inputs his code, which Rocky can see clearly, and makes sure all the money is there. When Alex enters the closet, he advises that they call the police. Rocky doesn't agree. To his surprise, she pulls the money out of the safe. According to Alex, there are millions of cash there. In the belief that it would take them into the basement and to a hatch that opens into the yard, they choose to depart through the barred door. The veterinarian emerges from inside and starts moving Money's body to another area of the house before they can enter. They have plenty of room to go through the door since he keeps doing what he was doing after a brief fear. Until he discovers their shoes a little while later, he's still unaware that they are present. He discovers the money is gone when he goes to check on the safe. Rocky and Alex are searching the basement in the meantime. To their surprise, they discover a female bound with army ropes. A device fastened to her alerts the veterinarian to the activity in the basement the instant she moves. Alex and Rocky learn that the female who ran over his daughter is the same one while they are there. Regardless of what she did, Rocky chooses to support her. The veterinarian is waiting for them in front of the basement hatch and begins shooting when they attempt to enter. The girl who killed his daughter gets killed by him. The veterinarian is carrying the body of the deceased girl while calling to his infant and declaring that the child is dead as Alex and Rocky run. Then he switches off the electricity and follows them down the large basement. He nearly catches them and strangles Alex because they are somewhat blinded as well, but the man flees with Rocky once more. The Rottweiler, now completely awake, is waiting for them outside the basement. They are cornered in one of the rooms while the dog follows them around the second floor. They appear to have no means of escape, and the windows are barred. The veterinarian, armed with a rifle and his dog, catches up to them and exits the room. When she notices a vent on the wall, Rocky and Alex look for a way out. He promises to keep the door secure and instructs her to go through it. The old man and the dog burst through the doors and attack Alex. He tumbles through the window onto a ceiling window. The dog follows Rocky into the hole and into the vent based on her scent. To get out of it, she leaps into a vertical shaft. When the veterinarian spots Alex, he shoots the window, sending him to the first level. In the chamber where he keeps his gardening equipment and where he had hidden Money's body, Alex rushes once more but is caught by the veterinarian. He stabs Alex with enormous gardening scissors and beats him until he is unconscious. Rocky awakens in the shaft, in agony. When she sees two openings, one leading outside and the other down into the home, she begins to crawl through the vents once more. The veterinarian grabs her from the opposite bar. In the basement, Rocky awakens. She is similarly bound, much like the other female. She pleads with the veterinarian to let her go, promising not to tell anyone about the girl. But he clarifies that the girl's imprisonment in the basement had nothing to do with torture or retribution for what she had done to his daughter. There was a wild notion in his mind that she should give him a kid in exchange for taking his daughter. Because she was expecting his child, he had been keeping her there. Because of his irrational reasoning, he concludes that Rocky should be held responsible for her death. Alex, meantime, awakens. Money's body had stabbed him, not the vet. He locks the dog in after tricking it into entering the room. The front door is then unlocked by him. The veterinarian is heating up something back in the basement. He informs Rocky that in place of the girl, she would now have to bear his child. However, he wouldn't force himself on her, just his sperm, because he isn't a... It turns out that he was preparing his sperm for injection into her by heating it up. She eventually reaches Money's car after a protracted chase. However, she drops the money-containing bag outdoors when the dog catches up to her. She also discovers she is missing the key once she is inside the vehicle. Rocky cleverly locks the dog inside the car, but as soon as she gets out and reaches for the bag, the veterinarian catches her again and begins dragging her by her hair toward his house. Rocky locates the alarm remote and turns it on when they arrive. The veterinarian becomes so confused by the sound that she pushes him into the basement. When the cops stop outside the house, she takes the money and flees, thinking he's dead. Rocky and her younger sister are seated in an airport bar. On the TV at the pub, she watches the news anchor discuss the events that have transpired. The vet had made it through the fall. He did not, however, bring up the fact that the money was gone or that she was also a part of the crime. In California, Rocky and her sister are free to enjoy life to the fullest.